The Special Forces Unit of South Africa, like many elite military units across the world, plays a pivotal role in the country's defense and security framework. While often associated with secret operations, counterterrorism, and high-risk missions, the role of South Africa's Special Forces Unit extends far beyond what is usually highlighted in popular media. The history, development, and function of South Africa's Special Forces Unit are crucial to understanding not only the security dynamics within the country, but also the broader context of military operations in Africa. To begin with, it is essential to grasp the historical backdrop that led to the formation of South Africa's Special Forces. The early years of the apartheid regime, a system of institutionalized racial segregation and discrimination enforced by the South African government, witnessed significant internal and external threats to the government, as both domestic opposition and international condemnation challenged its authority and legitimacy. These threats were exacerbated by rising tensions during the Cold War, where Africa became a battleground for proxy wars between Western and Eastern powers. South Africa, at the southern tip of the continent, found itself increasingly isolated due to its policies of racial segregation. As internal resistance grew, along with external pressures from liberation movements in neighboring countries, the South African government saw the need to develop a military force capable of dealing with these complex and evolving threats. In 1972, South Africa officially formed its Special Forces Brigade. This was modeled in part on other well-established special forces around the world, including the British SAS and the U.S. Navy SEALs. The primary mission of South Africa's Special Forces Unit was to carry out unconventional warfare, counterinsurgency, and reconnaissance missions. Given the geopolitical climate of the time, their operations were largely focused on ensuring the survival of the apartheid state and suppressing both internal uprisings and external threats from neighboring countries supporting anti-apartheid movements. Angola, Namibia, and Mozambique, in particular, were hotbeds of conflict, and South Africa's Special Forces Unit found itself deeply involved in covert operations in these regions. The soldiers selected for this unit were rigorously trained, not just in combat, but in survival skills, guerrilla warfare, and reconnaissance. These were men who had to operate in some of the harshest terrains, from the arid deserts of Namibia to the dense jungles of Angola. Their missions required them to be invisible, infiltrating hostile territories, gathering intelligence, and striking swiftly before retreating back into the shadows. The level of skill and discipline required to succeed in these missions was extraordinary, and the training regimen was designed to push recruits to their physical and mental limits. The Special Forces Unit was, without a doubt, highly effective during its operational years under the apartheid regime. However, its role in supporting the government's oppressive policies meant that it was often involved in controversial and morally questionable operations. Many of its missions were designed to destabilize neighboring countries that supported the African National Congress and other liberation movements. The Special Forces Unit was involved in sabotage missions, assassinations, and supporting pro-apartheid militias in conflicts across southern Africa. This led to accusations of war crimes and human rights violations, with some members of the Special Forces Unit later facing scrutiny for their actions during this period. However, the end of apartheid in the early 1990s brought about significant changes, not just within South Africa's political landscape, but also within its military structure. As the country transitioned towards democracy, there was a need to reimagine the role of its armed forces, including the Special Forces. The new South African government, led by Nelson Mandela, sought to create a military that would serve all South Africans, regardless of race, and which would uphold the values of the new democratic constitution. This transformation was not without its challenges. Many within the Special Forces Unit had been loyal to the apartheid government and its policies, and there was skepticism about whether they could adapt to the new political reality. However, the South African National Defense Force, under the leadership of Mandela's government, embarked on a process of reform and integration. Soldiers from the former liberation movements, including the ANC's armed wing, Umkhonto we Sizwe, were integrated into the new military structure, and efforts were made to professionalize and depoliticize the armed forces. Despite these challenges, South Africa's Special Forces Unit has managed to maintain its status as one of the most elite and capable military units on the continent. Its role has shifted significantly from the days of apartheid, and it now focuses on peacekeeping missions, counterterrorism, and protecting South Africa's borders. In recent years, the Special Forces Unit has been deployed in various United Nations peacekeeping missions across Africa, playing a critical role in stabilizing conflict zones and providing humanitarian assistance. The Special Forces Unit's expertise in counterinsurgency has also become increasingly important in the fight against terrorism, particularly in regions like Mozambique, where the insurgency in Cabo Delgado has threatened regional stability. South Africa's involvement in multinational efforts to combat terrorist groups on the continent demonstrates the evolving role of its Special Forces Unit in contributing to broader regional security. The unit's operations, while still largely secretive, are now aligned with international efforts to promote peace and security rather than upholding a divisive political regime. It is also worth noting the increasing emphasis on training and cooperation between South Africa's Special Forces Unit and other special forces across the globe. The modern Special Forces Unit has participated in joint training exercises with military forces from countries like the United States, the United Kingdom, and France. These exercises not only enhance the operational capabilities of the Special Forces Unit, but also strengthen South Africa's diplomatic and military ties with key global partners. Moreover, the Special Forces Unit has played an essential role in responding to natural disasters and humanitarian crises within South Africa and across the region. Their training in rapid deployment and logistical operations makes them uniquely suited to providing relief in areas hit by floods, droughts, or other emergencies. This humanitarian aspect of the Special Forces Unit's work is a far cry from its earlier years, but it highlights the versatility and adaptability of this elite force. Another significant aspect of the Special Forces Unit's evolution has been its efforts to become more representative of South Africa's diverse population. In the early years of its formation, the Special Forces Unit, like much of the South African military, was predominantly white and excluded Black South Africans from its ranks. However, the post-apartheid era has seen a concerted effort to diversify the unit, with soldiers from all racial and ethnic backgrounds now being recruited and trained. This process has been slow, but it reflects the broader transformation within the Special Forces as it seeks to shed its apartheid past and build a more inclusive military force. South Africa's Special Forces Unit has undergone a remarkable transformation over the past few decades. From its origins as a covert force supporting the apartheid regime to its current role as a professional, apolitical unit focused on peacekeeping, counterterrorism, and humanitarian missions, the Special Forces Unit is a testament to the adaptability of South Africa's military. While its past is undoubtedly stained by its involvement in controversial operations, the Special Forces Unit has managed to reinvent itself in the post-apartheid era, contributing to both national and regional security in meaningful ways. As South Africa continues to navigate its complex social and political landscape, the Special Forces Unit will likely remain a crucial component of the country's defense. Its ability to respond swiftly and effectively to a wide range of threats, from terrorism to natural disasters, ensures that it will continue to play a vital role in safeguarding the nation. Furthermore, its involvement in international peacekeeping missions demonstrates South Africa's commitment to promoting stability and security across Africa, further cementing the Special Forces Unit's status as one of the continent's most respected military forces. The evolution of South Africa's Special Forces Unit is not just a reflection of the changes within the military, but also the broader transformation that the country has undergone since the end of apartheid. Through its adaptability, professionalism, and dedication to its mission, the Special Forces Unit stands as a symbol of the new South Africa and its ongoing efforts to build a more just society. If you like this video and know someone in the military, please share it with them. Thank you for watching.